Personal care in ancient Rome is probably not everybody's cup of tea. Some Roman practices differed quite a bit from modern ideas. Yet ancient Roman body care was quite elaborate and by far not limited to the Roman baths that initially come to mind. Let's have a look at the fictitious morning routine of a Roman woman, Clodia Pulchra, whose second name means beautiful. Clodia stemmed from a prestigious family of the aristocracy and lived in the 1st century BC. After a good night's sleep, Clodia would get out of bed and go to the Latrine, the toilet, in her house. Once she had done her business, she would use a cup of water, already carefully prepared up front by her slaves. This cup she would use to wash her backside with her hands. Gilbert Wiplinger, an expert for the mysteries of the ancient Roman toilet, found some clues that at least some used this method. He also debunked the common misconception that the Romans used sponges on a stick to clean their backside. As other possible cleaning methods, he mentions pieces of cloth, stones, or even garlic peel. With her business done, Clodia would turn to dental care. She'd first use a toothpick to remove the rests of her midnight snack, then clean her teeth with a tooth powder based on Latrine, and finally rinse her mouth with clear water. As an alternative to Latrine powder, she could also have used the ashes of donkey's teeth, donkey milk, or even her own urine. Those things were not only believed to clean the teeth, but also to reduce bad breath. To prepare herself for the coming day, Clodia would call for her servants to remove the face mask she had worn overnight. Face masks were an important part of Roman women's beauty culture and were usually applied in the dormitory of the domina, the mistress. There were several recipes for masks which were believed to rejuvenate the skin. For example, Publius Ovidius Naso, a Roman poet, recommends mixtures based on botanicals. The scholar Pliny, in contrast, suggests ingredients way stranger to the modern taste. Placenta, excrements, and the intestines of animals, and donkey milk make the list. Speaking of semi-pleasant things, body hair removal was up next in the morning routine. To get rid of the body hair, Clodia's slaves would have used either a pair of pincers or depilatory cream, which contained resin and oils, and seems to have been very stressful for the skin. The pain of the procedure of depilation has been recorded by the ancient scholar Seneca the Elder, who complained about the noise of the baths and especially the alipili, the hair pluckers, close to his house. Quote, "Imagine a hair plucker who is constantly screaming to draw attention to himself. He only breaks off when he finds someone to depilate. Now he causes the other to scream even louder than he did before." It was common among Roman women to remove the hair in their armpits and on their legs. Some extended this to their genital area and the arms. Although men who removed their body hair were considered effeminate, the Emperor Augustus is said to have burned off the hair of his legs with heated nutshells. After having her body hair torn out, Clodia would wash herself using a sponge, water, lupin flour, natron, or soda. Soap, as we know it today, is a mixture of fat and an alkaline ingredient. In the 1st century BC, soap was used as a hair colorant. For cleaning purposes, it was used only later on in history. The soap commonly used in ancient Rome was made of goat fat and ashes from birchwood, or the like. For Clodia, soap only just popped up on the market. It was the latest thing among Roman women, so she would have sent her ornatrix, her personal hairdresser slave, to the market to buy some pilae maticae, soap balls, which were imported from Germany and were used to dye the hair blonde. Before dyeing, the ornatrix needed to pluck out some scattered grey hairs. After those uninvited guests have been removed, the slave would have dyed Clodia's hair using the soap balls. Alternative dyers were ashes or henna, who gave the hair a red glow, and some ancient sources even mention the women wearing the hair in an eye-catching bright blue. To hide their greying hair, many Romans, men and women alike, frequently dyed their hair. With her hair as blonde as gold, Clodia would have ordered her ornatrix to comb her hair and tie it in a subtle and simple knot, which fitted her personal appearance well. She was keen to present her hair clean and tidy, yet without any extravagance, since this was a distinctive feature of easy girls. Investing too much time in an outward appearance could make one look vain easily. This attitude was popular among Romans throughout the Republic. Only when the women of the emperor's court began to dictate the current trends, the hairstyles became more flamboyant. To prepare her face for the further cultus, the beauty routine, Clodia Pulchra would wash her face with the milk of a donkey, which was thought to prevent wrinkles. Next up, her slave would turn towards the numerous precious vessels containing rare substances from around the world. It was common to apply makeup in ancient Rome, and the ancient poet Ovid, who was much concerned with topics such as beauty and sexuality, even wrote a didactic poem called Medicamina Faciae Feminae, Remedies for the Female Face. As white skin was considered beautiful and distinguished the upper class from the tanned faces of working people, the foundation of a good makeup was face whitener. Several substances were used for this, ranging from chalk powder dispersed in honey or fat to white lead, which was, by the way, already known to be poisonous. The importance of white skin simply outweighed this fact. However, there are some even more odd-seeming remedies, such as crocodile dung, which the ancient poet Ovid mentions too. Nevertheless, historian Kelly Olsen argued that this might have been either a metaphor for Ethiopian soil, or a potshot to women who wanted to be beautiful so desperately that they readily smeared their faces with animal dung. However, Clodia's slaves would then apply some rouge on top of the whitener, since red cheeks signified health and beauty. Again, there were several possibilities of mixing a rouge. The most common ingredients were litmus lichen, or minerals such as red chalk or ochre. A cheap alternative was wine dregs. To finish this artwork, the eyelashes and eyebrows were penciled over with fuligo, a black substance made from soot or lamp black, and the eyeshadows and eyelids were colored in green or blue. Although it is highly possible that lipstick was used too, no actual evidence exists today. Due to the composition of the makeup, it had to be reapplied several times during a day. Nevertheless, one had to be careful not to apply too much. Whilst decent makeup was considered embellishing, too much could make people question whether it was really applied to delight the own husband. The same is true for perfumes and fragrant salves. Clodia would have had these rubbed into her hair and on her body in proper proportion, before her slaves adorned her with fitting jewelry. Prepared like this, Clodia, the beautiful, would glance at her mirror to make sure everything was perfect before joining her husband to greet his clients.